What's going on, y'all? My name is Micaiah, and welcome to another lesson from Precepts Around the Clock. Today's topic is don't forget to build. You know what I'm saying? We spend all our time working these 9 to 5s, clocking in, building up, Esau's kingdom, building up, these various companies that we work for. And we neglect to build up ourselves. We neglect to build up the Most High's kingdom. We neglect to build up our families. When we get home, we're ready to go to sleep. We're ready to just, get prepared for the next day. And we forget all the other obligations that we have. You know what I'm saying? And so I want to add a little balance to, our lifestyle, a little balance to what it is that we're supposed to be doing. Don't forget why we're here. We're here because we neglected the Most High. We're here because we went against what the Most High told us. That's why we're at the bottom. That's why we're clocking into these 9 to 5s in the first place. And so when you continue to neglect the Most High, you stay at this company that you don't want, that you don't like. A company that'll let you go in a heartbeat, a company that could care less about you. So it's important that you remember what's really important. You remember what's necessary. I'm not telling you not to work your job. I'm not telling you not to continue to work your 9 to 5, but can add on to what you're doing. Add on to the workload of what you're doing, because that's how you make progress. If you just spend all your time building up this kingdom, you're going to stay at the bottom. So I'm going to add, we're going to start with the scriptures. Got my notes right here. Let's start with the book of Daniel, chapter 7. Book of Daniel, chapter 7, in verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. So now, this is your oppressor. Most High describing him. He's saying he shall think to change times and laws. Why does he do that? He causes confusion. When you're in confusion, you don't really know which direction you're going. You don't really know what's ahead of you or what to expect. That's how you keep people in a state of fear. You keep people in a state of anxiousness. And that's what this oppressor does. And so now when you keep everybody at the edge of their seat, like, damn, what's going to happen next? This economy shifting. The world is going, I don't know what's happening. Then we're so focused on fear. We're so focused on maintaining the little bit that we have, then we forget to build. You know what I'm saying? We forget to fight. We forget to do what's necessary to get out of it. So that's what the oppressor is doing. Your so-called white man. He says, look, the Most High said he's going to think to change times and laws, because he can't really change time. Time is in the hands of the Most High. The laws are in the hands of the Most High. But he can set up policies that he can enforce you to abide by, but the Most High is really the shot caller of how everything works. But you're so much caught up in fear of your oppressor that you abide by what your oppressor says, aside from what the Most High says. And so he says he's going to wear out the saints of the Most High. That's his daily responsibility. That's what he does on a day-to-day basis. How can I keep them distracted? How can I keep them feeble? How can I keep them anxious, in fear, worried? How can I keep them dependent, submissive? All of these things. And so long as if all we're doing is focusing on building this kingdom, the white man's kingdom, your oppressor's kingdom, you neglect everything that the Most High has in store for you. You forget all the blessings. You forget that there's more in store for you when you cater towards something what the Most High does. So now it says he's going to try to wear out the saints of the Most High. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 2. Book of Psalms 83, verse 2, it says, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee lifteth up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. So the Most High says, look, They take crafty counsel, meaning they're meticulous on everything that they do. It's not an accident, nothing's a coincidence, everything is on purpose. The way your 9 to 5 is set up, the way the economy is set up, everything is on purpose. And it's the agenda is to keep you stuck. It's to keep you worried. When you're worried, your mind's not clear. Your mind's not focused on strategizing and coming up with a plan. If you want to keep a nation at the bottom, you want to keep people submissive, you got to keep them moving. You got to keep them worried, pulling them to and fro. And that's exactly what the white man is doing to our people right now. Feeding us entertainment, feeding us drama, feeding us negativity, feeding us these 9 to 5s, feeding us poverty. But that's not for you to make an excuse. That's not for you to be like, oh, we under the curses. I hear a lot of Hebrews talk about, oh, we under the curses. And that's an excuse for you to be mediocre. That's an excuse for you to stay stuck. Most High said he created the world for you. The scriptures say he created you to be above all nations on the face of the earth. So why would you settle for being at the bottom? Why would you settle for somebody to have the ability to tell you that you fired or not? To give you a job opportunity. You're supposed to be the one that's providing job opportunities. You're supposed to be the one that's writing checks. But we fell so far because we're not building our own kingdom up. We're not building up the Lord's kingdom. We're building up our oppressor's kingdom every day. And we get worried when we don't get those opportunities from our oppressor. Not knowing that when you cater toward the Most High, when you do what the Most High told you to do, he said, even your enemy shall be at peace with you. You're going to always be thriving. You're going to always be at the top. You're going to always excel. It's an easy thing for the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich. It's an easy thing for the Most High to instill within you riches. But you so caught up in the short term, you're so caught up in everything that's going on around you that you forget to build up the Most High's kingdom. You know what I'm saying? You forgetting your family. You so tired at your 9 to 5. You come home, you turn on Netflix, and you forget to build with your wife. You forget to build with your children. Now you got your oppressor teaching your children, and you got her, whoever her boss is, telling her what to do. And you not building in no type of way with your family because you're tired. But sometimes you gotta push through. Sometimes you gotta push past that exhaustion, and you gotta find a way to keep building. Even if it's just a brick day by day, at least you're building. But if you're not building at all, you're never gonna get anywhere. You're gonna stay stuck in a circle and complaining about your circumstance. All of us got adversity. That comes with life. That comes with us even abiding by the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. But it's up to you to decide what you're going to do. Are you going to make an excuse? We're under the curses? Or are you going to get up and you're going to make something happen? When we see our forefathers, they didn't make excuses. Some of them did. And those are the ones that stayed in oppression. The ones that didn't make excuses fought against oppression. They overcame oppression. And they thrived. And we're going to see that. Let's read the book of Nehemiah chapter 4, verse 17. We'll just give y'all the backstory. You can read this whole, I recommend you read the whole chapter. Let me read it. Let's go to Nehemiah chapter 4, verse 17. Let's see. Okay. So it says, verse 17, they which builded on the wall, and they that bear burdens with those that laid it, every one with one of his hands wrought in the work, and with the other hand held a weapon. So it's saying, while they were when you get to it, we were allowed to build up the temple. We were allowed to go back to Jerusalem and build up our nation again, right? But when we're building, just always know there's adversity at hand. It says, when you come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Regardless of when you're trying to make progress, expect adversity. Expect somebody or something to try to instill or enforce some type of resistance toward the progress that you're trying to make. That resistance is that 9 to 5. That resistance is all the distractions that this world provides to us. The resistance is the poverty, the economy shifting. That's all the resistance. But it's for you to determine how you're going to respond to it. Are you going to panic? You're going to worry about it? You're going to fall in line? Or you're going to, revolt? You're going to go against the grain. Here, our people went against the grain. They said they had tools in their hand. So it's like me having a hammer. So I'm building up my house. I'm building up the temple of the Lord. But at the same time, what did it say? And the other hand held a weapon. At the same time, I'm prepared for anything. I'm prepared for whatever. Anything that's up against my progress, I got to get rid of it. I'm prepared for war. And so we have to move with that same mentality. We got to be geared up for war. We got to be, at the same time we're building and trying to make progress, we got to fight at the same time. Expect that. Every single day, you as a Hebrew Israelite, you got to expect that there is a battle at hand. Because you're trying to make progress. Because you're trying to get closer to the Most High. Because you're trying to build. Know that there's something that's trying to keep you from building. Know that your oppressor does not have his best interest when it comes to you. So if he offers you things, what do you think he's offering? Is it because he believes in what you're doing and he wants to support you? Or does he believe that this can be your detriment or he can benefit from it in some type of way? Scripture says a gift destroys the heart. But nonetheless, going back to our ancestors, they didn't make excuses. They didn't say, oh, we're going to stop building up the temple. They didn't say that. They didn't say they trying to kill us. They didn't just say we just going to go and just fight. Because if we just fight, we're not making no progress. All we doing is fighting off an enemy. We kill off them, then we got another enemy that could pop up out of nowhere. And we still don't have the temple being built. So don't get caught up in just the battles either. Don't just caught up in the adversity. Sometimes the adversity is just a distraction from the progress that you're trying to make. Sometimes that adversity is literally just a distraction. That's why you got to do both. You got to fight and you got to build. You got to fight and you got to build. That's why on a Sabbath day, that's why we're on the street corners. That's why we building up our communities. At the same time, we still got to work our 9 to 5s because you got to pay those bills. You still gotta put food in your children's mouth, your wife's mouth. You gotta provide for your family. But at the same time, don't forget to lay that brick. Don't forget to have the tools in your hand and build. Our ancestors was constantly building. Here, this is the Persian to Mede captivity during the time of the Greeks. They tried to do the exact same thing. We tore everything down. We fought off our enemies, and then we built up the temple. One thing, they never neglected to build. That's the importance. We get tired. Our 9 to 5s is wearing us out. And when it comes to the Sabbath day, we don't want to do the works of the Lord. I don't want to pull up today. I think this is good. I might stay in today. I'm a little tired. I'm a little burnt today. That's exactly what your enemy wants you to feel. Them emotions that you're feeling, that you want to sleep in, you want to hold back from building, you doing the enemy's job. Because you're tired. It's all a mental game, though, because once you shake off that, then you realize, you know what? Now I got to build up the Lord's kingdom. Now I got to do what the Lord told me to do. If I'm tired, I'm tired. This is what it is. I'll rest in the kingdom. But if I don't do the works of the Lord, I'm going to stay exhausted. I'm going to stay in oppression. What did it say? I'd rather struggle for something than struggle for not. Regardless, you're going to have to struggle. Regardless, you're going to be tired. Regardless, you're going to feel that exhaustion. But it's up to you what you do. Either you feel that and keep it pushing, or you feel that and you just wallow and you just stay the same and complain and accept it. It is what it is type of mentality. So now let's bring change. Let's move toward progression. Let's progress. Let's move. Let's elevate. Let's go to. Excuse me. Let me unlock this real quick. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 119. And let's read verse 37. It says, turn away my eyes from beholding vanity and quicken now me in thy way. So meaning David's asking the Most High to remove the distractions, vanity, the things that really don't matter. We working all these jobs and we have enough to pay for the essential things that we need in life. Food, water, food, raiment, shelter, right? But now the question is, what do you do with the remaining funds that you get from that 9 to 5? Remaining funds that you get from that job. Do you invest or do you blow it on dumb stuff? Liquor. You know what I'm saying? Partying. Do you blow it on just BS, vanity, things that you really don't need? You broke for a reason. And it's not because it's just the curses. The curses is a side effect of us not abiding by what thus saith the Lord. So you can make that excuse all you want, but it's your habits. It's the way you conduct yourself. It's your patterns. It's your behavior. That's why you're broke. Now, I'm not going to say you're not going to experience adversity. You're not going to experience setbacks. But you look at your spending habits. Look at everything that you do and see why you're in that predicament that you're in. Look at your income. And you'll see why you're in that predicament. You have a habit and you got to break that habit. That's what the scriptures is talking about. And David's asking Most High to remove the things that really don't matter. Let's remove those things. Let's focus on what really matters. What matters? Building up the Most High's kingdom. Me taking care of my family. Is my wife fed? Are my children fed? They got food in their mouth. They got clothing on their back. They have a warm home, or it's summertime. Do they have a cool house to be in? These are the important things. Them extra shoes, it don't really matter. You can invest. If you got extra money, that's fine. But if you complaining that you broke, it's not fine. If you got extra money, you got money to go on a vacation, that's fine. But if you broke, that's not fine. We got to be more responsible. We got to be mindful of the things that we do. Our behavior. Analyze yourself. What did it say? Examine yourself whether you be in the faith. Everything that you do, look at your habits and how you conduct yourself. And you'll see why you are the way you are. If you're real with yourself. We could blame the Most High. We could blame all types of adversity. That's not going to change nothing. You still where you are. And the Most High told you the reason why you're at where you at. You're not building. You think you're building, but you're not really building. You think you put in work because you show for brothers, because we show up on Saturday and we talk on the mic for like 10, 15, 20 minutes. You're not building. That ain't enough. They was waking up thousands of people a day. They was feeding thousands of people with the bare. Christ was feeding thousands of people with the bare minimum. What does that show you? We make excuses, meaning you can use the very little that you have to bring in a lot. You think you don't have enough money. You got an extra $40. You can invest with $40. Instead of buying the extra food that you don't need, you could cook at the house and you use that $40 and invest with it. Or you can just blow that $40 and make another excuse. You could decide. But let's continue in the scriptures. David's asking the Most High to remove the distractions, right? Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 27. It says, Sirach 33, 27, send him to labor that he be not idle, for idleness teacheth much evil. You know what I'm saying? Idleness teacheth much evil. After you clock out of that 9 to 5, where your mind at? You're idle. You're not doing nothing progressive. You think, oh, because you work that job that you good. You're not good because you're not building. I'm not saying this to wear you out, to have you exhausted, but If you that person that complains a lot and you tired of your circumstance, that means you got some building to do. And so that even if it's an extra hour a day, cutting off Netflix as soon as you clock home, don't sit on the couch. Nah, I gotta hit the gym. I gotta do what I gotta do. My wife about to be here, so I'm gonna teach my wife. I'm gonna connect with my wife, quality time with her. I'm gonna build with my children. You can't neglect these things. You can decide. You can scroll through social media all day. You can scroll through the internet all day. It's only distracting you, and it's only wasting time from you making progression. You moving forward in life. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 17. It's the book of Matthew 22, verse 17. It says, "Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not?" But Jesus perceived their wickedness and said, "Why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Show me the tribute money." And they brought unto him a penny. We're going to read down. It says, "And he saith unto them, Who is this image and superscription? They said unto him, Caesar's. Then saith he unto them, Render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's." So now, they were trying to get Christ caught up and asking, is it wrong to pay taxes? You know what I'm saying? But Christ is letting it be known, look, don't be dumb. This is the circumstance where we say we're in a land of all oppression. We're under the curses, where we have to pay taxes. You have to pay taxes. If you don't, then you go to prison. But now, the reason why you're broke, that's your fault. The reason why you're at the bottom is your fault. Because now Christ also says, render unto the Lord what's the Lord's. The reason why we're still in oppression is your fault. It's our fault as a nation. Pay your taxes. Work your 9 to 5. I'm not telling everybody don't have to be an entrepreneur. Everybody don't have to own all these companies. You don't got to do all that. But are you making progression in the kingdom of the Lord is the question. Are you making progression in your nation? Are you taking care of your family? Or is your family spiritually fed? That's the important thing. Entrepreneurship, that's a small number for people that's going to be able to do that. That have the mindset for that. I'm not telling everybody to do that. All I'm saying is, while you building up these companies, you also need to build up the Lord's kingdom. You give me 100% to this 9 to 5, you need to find another 100%, 110% for the Lord. That's what I'm saying. The Lord's getting scraps right now, and that's why we're not making progress. But imagine if you give your all to the Lord, simultaneously while you're building up, or you're working at this little company that you're working for. That's the mindset that we need to have. Really build. We really have to build. And it's not just no little showing up to Sabbath class. It's not just no popping up to feast days, thinking you did something. You didn't do nothing. You didn't do nothing. You gave a lesson. That's fine. You didn't do nothing though, because there's so much more to it. It says the saints shall judge the earth. How you gonna judge the earth and you still stuck building up this other kingdom? You still reporting. You still submissive to your oppressor. A judge, meaning we got a leadership mindset, meaning we're ready to build. Meaning we have a system of how we operate in this nation. We got to get back to that. We got to put more effort in. We got so much work to do. It's not even funny. And this is me talking to the complainers, because I hear a lot of complainers. I know you don't like your circumstance. I know you don't like the things that you're going through. But if you don't do the works of the Lord, it only get worse. You're only going to stay where you at. If you don't build up your family, our nation only gets weaker. If you don't connect with your wife and build up your children, we only gonna get worse. That's how we progress, is the family. The family dynamic is important. That's why they tried so hard. Remember how we went into Psalms 83 where it says, let me just go there because I'm losing my train of thought. They have taken crafty counsel. That's what I wanted. They've taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Verse 4, Psalms 83, verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. That is their mission. You can't forget that. When you know yourself and you know your enemy, you're gonna win. If you don't know yourself and you know your enemy, what is all? I'm over here quoting Art of War and all this type of stuff. You need to know yourself and know your enemy. You need to build. You need to at the same time where you're fighting your enemy, you need to be building yourself up. That's the moral of the story. You can't just know yourself. You can't. It's not just you knowing that you're an Israelite. It's not just you knowing who your enemy is. No, oh, it's the white man. It's both. You understanding who's the enemy and also understanding who you are and what's required of you. When you put those two together, now you know what you're fighting. And now you know what you're building. That's the what our motive is. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Fighting and building. Isn't that our name? One who prevails with God. We call ourselves Hebrew Israelites. Hebrew being a language and Israel being our forefather. Who prevail with God and men. I mean, it's a wrestle. Every day you got to wrestle. Every day you got to fight. But you got to build. Don't forget that. You got to build. For our sisters, you got to build. While at the same time you fighting out there in your 9 to 5s, you got to come home and you got to build with your husband. Same thing for the children. While you fighting whatever little adversity that you're going through, you got to come in and you got to build with your family. You got to build with your peers. That's what this is about. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 36, verse 25. We're almost done. Verse 24 says, he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. So that's what the Most High is saying. Your wife's supposed to be your rest, not your enemy. You're not supposed to be battling with the world and you coming home to battling with your wife too. Now we really backtracking. Now we really going backwards. I'm supposed to be at war with the world and coming home, and the scriptures say she's supposed to be my pillar of rest, a place of safety, to rejuvenate, to recover from all the battle wounds. That's the mindset that our sisters need to have, where we not supposed to be at war with each other. We're supposed to be coming together. We're supposed to be building together. It says a help me, meaning she's supposed to be there to assist you along the way. It's a journey. You got a mission as a man, and she's there to assist you. But you got to have a mindset of leadership. You got to have a mindset of knowing where you're going, knowing yourself. Where are you headed? What's the destination? What is it going to take to get there? You relay that to her, she's going to assist you in getting there. We got to come together, man and woman, and we got to build. We got to connect. The Most High says she's your possession, meaning she's your plant. She's there to assist you in whatever it is. She's right there for you. Let's read verse 25. It says, where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled, and he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning. So it says where no hedge is, meaning you as a man. What does a hedge do? A hedge is like a bush that protects a garden. So now when you remove the bush, then a person could see everything that's going on within that household. And they can go in, oh, that's right there. Let's go snatch that up. Them some nice plants. Let's pull that out. Let's snatch that up. Because there's no hedge. There's no protection. Because the protector's tired. The protector's caught up in his 9 to 5. So when he gets off, he's ready to just go to sleep. The protector's not teaching his children because he's tired. Because he's caught up in working for his oppressor that don't care nothing about him, will fire him in a heartbeat. That'll let him go in a heartbeat and replace him just like that. He invested in that company. You see how we still in a slave mindset? Where we'll much rather build up our oppressor, our slave masters, rather than building up what the Most High set up, which was going to allow us to prosper. The scriptures say, build up your family, build up the nation. That's how we're going to get out of this. That's real progress. Just because you got a little change in your pocket, you get to ride around in your car, that's not freedom. You're not free. Not if your nation's not free. Let's read the book of Matthew chapter 6 verse 33. And I had it, I don't know if it's in 1 Timothy chapter 3 or chapter 5, where it says, if a man provides not for his household, he's worse than an infidel, meaning a non-believer. It's important that you provide for your family. The chief things, you know what I'm saying? Raiment, clothing, food, shelter, right? And so now let's go to Ephesians, actually, chapter 5. My MacBook shut down, so I remember actually glad I memorized all the scriptures downstairs. So let's go there. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25, it says, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. So now the scriptures, I'm recording. Close the door. Close the door. Verse 25, it says, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. So it says, love your wives as Christ loved the church. I mean, at the same time, the same love that Christ had for the church, you got to love your family too. You got to connect with your family. So it's also having a balance too, even when it comes to building up the nation. You know what I'm saying? You got to build up the nation, but also build up your family too. You got to work your 9 to 5, but also build up your family. You got to build up your family. You got to build up the nation. It's all these things is what it takes for us to move forward. You got to get your little job. You got to have some bread in your pocket, but don't forget to build. That's what the moral of the story is. Right after this, you know what I'm saying? My nieces is here. Go be with my nieces, be with my family. But nonetheless, these are the important things. You know what I'm saying? Spending time with those folks that matter, the ones that care about you, building with your brothers, building with your loved ones, building up your community. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 11. It says, put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness in this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Most of the scriptures that we're going to read, it's always about a battle. The Most High said he's a man of war. Life is filled with adversity. And we got to accept that. I know we want peace, but right now in this world, it says there is no peace. You got to battle. You got to fight every single day until we reach those pearly gates. But at the same time, while you're fighting, you got to build. Put on that armor of faith. Have faith in the Most High that he's going to assist you in those battles. But the Most High wants you to take some initiative. He wants to see you move. He wants to see you act out the principles that he already gave you. He wants to see you thrive. So now let's end it off with this last scripture, the book of Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. It says, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Take, this is an important one. Let's read verse 34. Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Why I felt that was important to bring out is because we're always worried. How I'm going to pay for this? How I'm going to pay for that? How I'm going to do this? And that's why you never have time to come up with a plan. You never have time to really calm your thoughts and focus on what the Lord wants from you because you're worried about vanity. We're constantly worried about vanity. How I'm going to pay this car note? How I'm going to pay this? How I'm going to do this? What are they going to think if I say this? Christ said, don't take no thought. That's not your job. You showing your lack of faith. I told you to put on my armor. And you taking it off every time you doubt. You taking it off every time you worry. Every time you're fearful. He said, look, seek the kingdom of the Lord. Build. He said the harvest is plenty. It's so much work out there. It's so much work. It's so much for you to benefit from, but the laborers are few. It's very few people that want to put the work in. Meaning it's golden tickets out there, but it's few people that want to go out and just go get it. It's a bag out there, but you don't want to go get it. He said everything that you praying for is all aligned with you seeking the kingdom and you doing what it takes to get into the kingdom. You want riches, you want peace, build up the kingdom. Do what thus saith the Lord. Take care of your obligations, your family. You want love, you want prosperity, do what thus saith the Lord. Seek the kingdom. Abide by these scriptures. And how can you fail? How can you stay at the bottom if you're doing what the Most High told you to do? You know what I'm saying? So now let's listen with that. Seek the kingdom. Work your little job. If you are an entrepreneur, build your company. But at the same time, don't forget to do the works of the Lord. Don't forget the works of the Most High. Don't forget the works of the Most High. Don't forget your family. And consider and remember what's important. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave y'all with that. Thank you for tuning in to another lesson of Precepts Around the Clock. I'm about to get back to this music. You know what I'm saying? And with that, I'm going to say shalom. Peace.